Hey everyone, welcome to Goldie's highlights from Challenge Bathurst 2025. I was pretty keen to head out the night before, but wiser heads prevailed. So we went out Wednesday morning, got to Bathurst in the sunshine. It was a lovely day, check-in was pretty easy, and all the other guys in the garage put the car away and headed down to scrutineering. Scrutineering was pretty good, no dramas. Did have to wait an hour for the mandatory lunch break. Got the sticker though, signed off, and we were ready to roll. There was some awesome machinery out there. This is just a sample. There were old vet supercars, exotics, GT3s, you name it, it was there. I was doing the regularity and with all the new starters, so we were called Group 8. I looked at all the other stuff and thought, wow, I am seriously outgunned here, so I asked the dummy good marshal to put me in the back. And he was kind enough to do so. So I was the last one out on the track in my group. Heading out onto the track was a jaw-dropping experience. I've been dreaming about this for decades. I've been watching races here since I was a little kid. I'd seen some amazing wins, some losses. Even saw Denny Horn die here. So to be able to go out there myself and actually drive around the same place, it was just an amazing experience. I couldn't believe it. The fact that there was oil all over the track certainly got my heart going. But this first bit, just supposed to be familiarisation, so we weren't going too fast, taking it pretty easy. As we came through Sulman and then to McPhillamy, I just couldn't contain myself, I was so excited. And then, as we went down into the dipper, and then down towards Forest Elbow, I think it was pretty clear how I felt. Then it was finally time to start an actual flying lap at Bathurst. Just getting wound up. Knew I wasn't going to take it too hard, didn't want to do anything silly first time out, new brakes, new tyres and all that, but still wanted to get along pretty quickly. So, looked like we were going to line up for a pass on these guys, so just didn't really line up this guy on the Commodore. Had a quick look in the rearview mirror, and there's the leaders already coming round. They've caught up with me, so had to pull over, let everyone pass. It became pretty clear that this wasn't going to be a session for going too quickly. There were just cars everywhere, so just took it easy, kept to the side, kept off the racing line, or kept out of everyone's way anyway, as much as I could. And there's quite a cool group of cars coming by. A Mustang, then a Hyundai, and then a Lancer, and then after that, all sorts of things. I was pretty happy just staying out of everyone's way, to be honest. Car felt really strange, a bit twitchy, which will become clear later on. It also wasn't terrible watching some of these cars go by. Didn't really think I was going to be overtaken by an XW Falcon across the top of the mountain. It also made it abundantly clear the driver experience was a massive part of this. All these cars are just wailing past at the moment, but by the end of the actual trial, things like that Falcon and the Alpha were about 2 or 3 seconds ahead of where we were. So I wasn't too worried at this point. The two things I was worried about though were the fact the car was really twitchy, especially as it got light over the bumps, and the fact that I was seriously running out of revs at the end of the straight. As we go down here, this was one of the first times I'd really started to get it wound up. As you come over the hill here and it gets a bit light, it's really all over the place, hence why I lifted. And as I came down here, I was like, oh my god, here comes the traffic. As we sweep into the chase, you can see the line of cars up there on the other end, just beyond the tyre barrier. As I get back up the hill, here's me. In front of me is Tony, who was in my garage, and there goes Mark in the PRB, both who we shared garage with. They're lovely blokes. But yeah, it just shows you the differences trying to get around people but also get out of the way all at the same time. I think there was a general tendency, everyone was trying to do the right thing and get out of the way. I know I was doing that, but it also meant that everyone was being a bit cautious and you ended up with these DRS trains, I had them referred to by someone, where everyone was trying to be polite and not get in everyone's way, and you end up with a big traffic jam at the bottom of the straight. This one was quite hilarious. We had cars inside, outside, huge disparities in power. Turbo cars, 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders, you name it, it was all there. It all came to a bit of a head for me around the end of the next lap. As I'm coming into the chase, I could see the red Mazda coming down. I thought he was going to shoot up the inside of me, so I stayed wide. And then he disappeared in my blind spot. So I tried to get out of the way, but of course he's being overtaken by the guy in 911. And then behind them there's a bit of a train as well. One of which was a Magna I believe called the Imposters, which is my favourite thing there. I thought this was hilarious. These guys were awesome. And then of course there's an RX-8 behind these guys. Didn't even know he was there, and of course he ends up out in the dirt. We all sorted ourselves out. He got past me on the straight. But then, because we were mucking around so much, what seemed to be a theme for the day, I got stuck behind another Toyota 86. It's a great example of what it was like on these opening laps. I had this gorgeous little Alpha behind me, and he was pretty quick through the corner, so I thought I'd let him past. But of course, he gets on the straight and he's running out of power completely. I didn't want to overtake me again, so I stuck him behind him. But then all of a sudden, whoosh, here comes the Corvette, putting all the power to the ground. So the Alpha ended up being about 2 or 3 seconds faster than me. The Corvette about 7 or 8 seconds slower. But because of this power disparity, it was crazy. Eventually, on the last lap, I got a whole lap by myself. I think I must have just made it across the line before the leaders got there. So there's no one chasing me, massive big gap in front of me. I got to have the whole place felt like it was all mine. Across the top felt like it was floating, and then down Conrod finally got to open up a little bit and just not have to be worried about getting out of everyone's way. Down the bottom, not really pushing on too much, but just having a bit of fun. It was just the best feeling in the world. And we did it. It was first session in the books. Thanks to the flaggies. And then cruised down to the finish. At this point, I was drenched in sweat. I don't think it was even that hot yet. But what an experience just to get out there and have a whole lot of fun. And I think by my reaction here, I was pretty excited.
Oh, wow. That was amazing. That's probably the best thing I've ever done in a car, I'd say. And very, very scary.
I was clearly very excited, and more than just a little bit hyped up on adrenaline. Here I come, back into the pit, greeted with my crew chief, and as you're about to hear, a very clear, concise and sensible description of the handling of the car.
Lights on the dash. Nothing on already meant to. As you go, airbag lights. Oh, that's amazing. That was amazing, so good. Terrifying. I don't know what happened to the real life. Didn't get it real life. No, it's definitely it's terrible. I mean, the bumps, the hills and straights. Come over the one and over straight. The first time, it's not good.
But it was good. It was really good. And when we went back out for the second session, even though we didn't get any times, they'd obviously timed us and they reordered the groups. So now I moved up from being last to 41st. At least we were somewhere. First time around though, got held up behind the guy in the Nissan, and all of a sudden there was this Toyota jammed down the inside of me. I thought I was about to run into him. Well, he was going to run into me, I guess. He tried to take off down the straight, but I wasn't really keen on that, since I actually was faster than him. I just had to get past this damn blue Nissan. So we sorted that out, and off we went again to chase my mate. I thought I had him sorted out, so we headed up Mountain Straight the next time. Thought I was going to get past here, then lo and behold, there's the XW Falcon back again. Maybe we messed this, inside, outside, past he went. So now I wait another little bit before he can get past the Nissan. So here we are, back on top of the mountain. Still trying to get past. There's a bit of a line up behind us. Got the guy on the white Commodore, try to get him past. There's another Commodore behind me. I wasn't really sure what he was doing. I don't think he really wanted to go past. I think he might have been having an issue. But I didn't want to hold him up, so we're going to have a bit of a standoff. Then here we are, the Toyota 86 is back. Now, I know it's only regularity, and I know it was only practice. But I was blocking like I was Jamie Winker running out of fuel on the last lap. It's a bit hard to explain to people why you're driving along. Hang on mate, I'm just trying to get past this other car, can you just hang on for a sec, and then we'll all be fine. So instead of that, I stuck to the inside, so there was no going past. And then once we hit Conrod Strait, got past the Purple Commodore, and then we were away. After that, it was really smooth sailing. Got 2 more good laps in, and I got my time down from a 3:08, which I'd just done, down to a 2:58, and then a 2:56. And all that congestion that we'd seen in the first run, it all disappeared and been cleaned up, so it was good to have everyone in some kind of order. For the third run, I'd finally gotten around to putting a camera underneath the car so I could see what the suspension was doing. And man, it sure showed a lot of stuff. One thing you can see straight away is the glowing cherry red exhaust. I never realised it got that hot. The car does have a flat aluminium skin underneath it, so there's not a lot of air there, so not terribly surprised it's hot, but very interesting to see. The other thing to take note of is the damper adjuster, because it's about to do a magic trick. With 2020 hindsight, it was obvious the little spot of oil on the trailer was from this, and not from some overfill of the oil. But either way, this was heading up the hill out of turn 2, heading towards the cutting, and it just had enough, so it left. Doesn't seem too bad at first, like oh well, just the adjuster's fallen out. But then, here comes the oil. This was going up through Sulman and McPhillamy, so turning left quite hard, so as it leant over on the driver's side, it's ejected all the oil and ran all down the side of the car and underneath. An absolute mess. Luckily, I wasn't actually pushing that hard, so otherwise I would have been in some serious trouble, and those walls were very close. I didn't actually notice at the time. The car was handling quite skittishly. I couldn't really tell whether that was something we'd done to the car, or whether it was just me. So I pushed on, and the very next lap, this was actually the best time I did for the whole day. So, it wasn't off to the best start. I was still trying to get past the guy in the 86. So I had to back off a bit down the main straight so I could get a run on him up Mountain Straight. So I lost a bit of time here. But then as we get up here, I did manage to go past, and then off we go. And this is the lap for the day. Best time for the day was a 2:52. I was really happy with that. I was happy to get under 3 minutes, to be honest. After that, didn't have much luck. Ford Focus broke down going through the cutting, so the yellow flags were out. There's lots of stuff everywhere, and given its regularity, there wasn't a lot of point in trying to push on. So there were no more good times to be had, but still kept going just for the experience. It was awesome. The last thing that happened, last lap I was out there, still trying to get past another 86, and surprisingly past a WRX. And so I got past this guy, but then because it took a while to get past, I stayed over on the right hand side of the track a bit too much and didn't get all the way back over to the left. So by the time I got here, I was looking at the gravel. And that little wobble, it didn't look like much. I was doing about 180 at the time, so it certainly got my attention. And that was it. End of a wonderful day. Had a great time, didn't know anything had gone wrong, so I got back to the pits and was ready to put it away. And then I found this mess, and then when we looked underneath, I found this hole. It took me ages to realise that there was supposed to be an adjuster there. So we packed it up and got ready to go home. It might seem like that was a pretty downer of an end, but I had such a great time. Can't recommend this enough for anyone who's really into cars to go and give this a go. The other thing I have to say is a huge thanks to Mum and Dad. This was all them. They organised everything, paid for everything. It was such a wonderful experience. I'm so thankful they did it for me. So huge thanks to Mum and Dad. Love you guys.